purpose of today's video is to review the Walker Deeper Divers diving planers. But before we do that, I want to mention that you might be a good enough fisherman to catch all the fish you want without God's help. But I am not. I'm a mediocre fisherman at best, and I've caught a lot more fish since learning to pray, because I noticed all the miracles of the Bible that have to do with fish. Jesus fed the multitude by multiplying the loaves and the fishes. Jesus told Peter to throw the net on the other side of the boat, and he caught so many fish that the net started to break. Jesus, after he was risen from the dead, he helped demonstrate the reality of his physical resurrection by having a meal that included fish. So the Lord is interested and willing in helping me catch fish, and since I learned that and remembered to pray, we've got a lot more fish on my boat, and it's been a lot more pleasing out there ruling over the fish of the sea. So the Walker Deeper Diver is a diving planer that we use for precision trolling. And they're different size, right? The biggest ones can get you down to 30 or 40 feet, depending on how much line you let out. And then, the still kind of largest ones can get down to 20 or 30 feet, again, depending on how much line you have out. And the littler ones don't go as deep as quickly. So depending on how deep you want to go, when you buy these things, there's a chart in with the diving planer in the package. And it might say, okay, you let out 50 feet of line, you're going to be 20 feet down. If you let out 100 feet of line, you might be 30 feet down, or whatever the numbers are. But what I really like about these is they also pull to the side. So there's these tick marks on the bottom that go from 3 left to 3 right, or vice versa. Yeah, this one's 3 right. So when it's set on 3R, it will pull not just down to get your lure to the right depth, but it'll also pull out to the right side. And so by setting the ones on the right side of the boat to right and the ones on the left side of the boat to left, you can get some horizontal spread in your lures. And what that horizontal spread allows you to do is both cover more water as well as trolling more lines at one time without getting them tangled up. So in a little 16-foot aluminum boat, we can troll as many as 8 lures out at one time, and that allows us to try different depths, different lures, figure out what the fish like that day, and then switch over to the lures and depths that are working for us, and that allows us to catch more fish. So we've been very pleased. Now, these things aren't invincible. They do fail. Sometimes it's more the hardware, but most of the times that they fail is simply due to abuse. We drop them on the ground, we drop them in the boat, we get the lure snagged, and if you've got a high test pound leader and a 80 test pound main line, you end up pulling on it pretty hard, and sometimes the hardware bends or the plastic can even break on occasion. But we've caught lots of fish and we've been very pleased with the Walker Deeper Diver diving planer. Now, we also use dipsy divers, and we actually just tend to buy what's available at the store when we need some more. These have lasted a long time. I've had these, the ones you're looking at, for over a decade. Most of the time they don't break. Most of the time we snag them on the bottom and lose them through a snag before we wear them out. But I do tend to prefer the Walker divers just a little more than the dipsy divers, mostly because of the sizes that they come in. The dipsy diver that's close to this size is just a wee bit smaller, and so this one I can get just a little deeper running it close to the boat, or at a given length from the boat. This one's going to be a little deeper. Likewise, this one, it's just a little bit larger than the dipsy diver that's of a close size, and this one as well is just a little larger. So for whatever reason, I tend to prefer the sizes that the Walker divers are available in. Now, the dipsy divers come with an extra ring that'll expand the diameter a little bit, but the rings pop off, and I've never really been satisfied running the dipsy divers with the little rings. As far as colors go, I don't really believe it's that important. If they've got clear when I'm buying them, I prefer to buy the clear ones, but sometimes like the real big ones weren't available in clear the day I ordered this from whatever supplier I used. I don't think there's any disadvantage. We've caught lots of fish on the colored ones as well as the clear ones. So highly recommended Walker deeper divers for precision trolling applications.